today's video, we're going to talk about someone who is notoriously known for his insane clapbacks. Someone who doesn't let a single hate comment slide. He doesn't only respond to haters, he digs into their past, reveals their deepest, most darkest secrets to the internet, and completely obliterates them.
Really necessary for someone we all know so well.
Mercedes, you just wandered right into my trap, baby girl. Doing some light reading right now of your criminal record, but I'm in recovery, so I'm not going to put you on blast.
The person you're seeing on screen right now is known by many names. The American Loser, Face Tat Baby, Internet Cockroach, Modern Day Angel, Internet Sweetheart, and the list can go on forever. To the internet, he's known as the guy who gets people's faces tattooed on his body just because they left a mean comment under one of his posts. But there's more to his story than just this. We came across this guy when he started popping up on our Instagram feed, and the more we looked into him, the more disturbing it got. So who exactly is Internet Sweetheart, and why is he so controversial in the first place? In today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into the chaotic world of Internet Sweetheart, aka the most wanted creator on TikTok. Internet Sweetheart, or Modern Day Angel, is a 28 to 29-year-old man from Tampa, Florida. There is very little known about his childhood or his teenage years. However, what we do know is that his real name is actually Ethan Scarcelli. He was addicted to drugs and has been in treatment. According to Ethan, he was actually mandated by law to go into treatment, and once he got out, he got addicted to something else, tattoos, which is why he got a bunch of poorly judged tattoos on his face and then got them blacked out. We also found some old accounts on his name, and this LinkedIn profile which states that he works, or at least worked, at Adventure Island Busch Gardens. His LinkedIn account also has this one picture of him with Inked magazine tagged and captioned, "My name is Ethan Scarcelli. I am 26 and live in Tampa, Florida. I've got 30 plus tattoos on my face alone, and I'd love to be featured." He looks relatively younger in this picture and also has considerably fewer tattoos covering his face. This is him before he got his tattoos blacked out. But one thing is still evident from his post, his hunger for fame, which he eventually got from TikTok. We can't pinpoint exactly when he first started posting on TikTok, mainly because he's been banned from the platform more times than we can count. His content is scattered across countless different accounts, making it nearly impossible to track his digital footprint. But looking at his old pictures, you'd never guess the path he'd take. Back then, he, despite his face tattoos, seemed like a completely normal guy. Someone who, under different circumstances, could have been insanely charming, maybe even the life of the party in high school. However, something happened along the way that turned him into the guy he is today. One thing that you'll notice about him from the get-go is his face tattoos. His entire body is pretty much covered in tattoos, including his face. But trust us when we say that his face tattoos are the least interesting thing about him. The story behind one of these tattoos is far more insane than you could ever imagine. It's petty to a whole new level. Moreover, he's been accused of stealing people's identities, scamming, and stalking kids. Buckle in tight and stick with us till the very end as we dive into all of these topics. You see, Internet Sweetheart makes these clapback or response videos to people who leave hate comments under his posts. He goes into full FBI-level investigation mode and somehow always manages to unearth startlingly gruesome lore on these people. For example, their past, arrest records, and scandals. He would then make a response video, usually joking about some very disturbing things. Here's a good example of the kind of videos he makes.
You know what else is a little bloated? The body of the person that you ran over. If I had to write a documentary about you, the title would be Vroom and Doom. Honestly, what you did wasn't even a hit and run. It was a flatten and flee. Talisa, I want to show you something. This is where I'm at right now. Tell me if this place looks familiar to you.
Nails, check. Hair, check. Face, pretty.
I am trained in cone-to-cone combat. Okay? You're about to go down a very rocky road with me right now. Frozen Fury, Sunday Smacker.
His videos may seem kind of entertaining and savage in the beginning, but once you look a little deeper into his account, you'll realize that there's something very unsettling about him. He isn't just a petty guy who likes to engage hate comments for drama. Once you look at his content a little more closely, you'll realize that his entire account is pretty much based on this hate. According to Internet Sweetheart, he was always bullied for his looks. Even though he was conventionally good-looking growing up, his tattoos were always something people couldn't wrap their heads around. He talked about his tattoos in an interview and said, "There wasn't really any specific mission or motivation behind getting them. I was an IV drug addict for 10 years on opiates and I got sober. Then I started getting tattoos in regular places like my arms and my neck, until one day I got an impulse to get a face tattoo." When he was asked about his backstory and the fact that it doesn't really come through on his TikTok, he responded by saying, "I talked about it more before. Me being in recovery, my sexuality, my religious upbringing, and all this stuff. That's really what I was making content about when I first started TikTok." So according to him, he faced a lot of criticism only for his tattoos for his sexuality, and when he couldn't take the trolling anymore, he turned into a troll himself. Well, digging into people's past and finding dirt on them is all good and entertaining, but when you start getting random people's faces tattooed on your body, it gets a little bit below petty. If there's one thing you should know about him, is that he doesn't let a single comment or video about him slide, and there is a very good chance that he might even respond to this video. That being said, we really think that his story needs to be covered a little bit more thoroughly. There are a few creators who have talked about him, including Primink, which by the way is a whole side story on its own, and which we'll get into shortly. For now, let's just focus on who this guy really is, so that people who don't already know about him can get a fair idea before we dive any deeper. So the crux of his story is that whenever someone leaves a comment on his posts that rubs him the wrong way, he doesn't just ignore it or clap back like a normal person. No, he takes things to an entirely unhinged level. He gets a tattoo of their face inked onto his body, but not as a faithful recreation. He warps their features, twists them into something grotesque, or adds his own bizarre spin. For instance, this one video of him where he gets mad at a woman called Ruth in his comments section. She commented on his post saying, "This man is in dire need of a church and a God." Internet Sweetheart obviously didn't like this comment, and when he couldn't find any dirt on her, he just got a tattoo of her face being licked by a devil.
I think Ruth has a good point. And honestly, what she's saying makes sense, and it kind of makes me reevaluate everything that I've been doing. I feel like...
Honestly speaking, it's hard to feel bad for the ones who leave really nasty comments. For instance, this one user wrote how they hoped someone would slip a razor blade into his dog Franklin's food. However, it also just seems unnecessary sometimes. The people might get humiliated by these tattoos for the time being. They might even lose their jobs or get harassed online, but eventually they're going to move on. On the other hand, he will have to live with these tattoos, and he'll have to recall the hate whenever he looks at his body. But for whatever reason, Internet Sweetheart thinks that this is the perfect way to take revenge. And to be honest, if he's doing it for the clout, it is quite entertaining, especially given the fact that almost all of these people are trolls themselves, making it really hard to feel sorry for them. But wait a minute, because it only gets worse from here on. Internet Sweetheart doesn't only target the haters, but he also consistently goes after people's families, their parents, and even their children. Yes, you heard that right. If someone dares to criticize his tattoos, he might just respond by getting a permanent portrait of their baby inked onto his body.
You can't imagine what you would do if your son got face tattoos. Well, let's picture it for a second. Look what I got.
Me banana.
You're right. I do need help. That's why I'm at the same hospital as your mother. Must not be familiar with my work if you left a comment like this on my page. But that's fine, that's fine. Everybody has to learn for themselves, you know, it's a personal journey. I'm really envious of the relationship between your grandpa and your nana. 30 years, that is a long time for a couple to be together. But there's just one thing. When I saw the photo of your grandpa, I could have sworn I've spoken to him before on Grindr.
What did she say? What you say?
Honestly, it's beyond sickening that he would drag an innocent child into his twisted antics. And the worst part about all of this is that it wasn't just a one-time thing. There are multiple videos of him proudly showing off tattoos of other people's relatives, parents, siblings, and yes, even their children. It's not just bizarre anymore, it's downright disturbing.
All right, Christina Ortiz, I'll make a deal with you. I will undergo tattoo removal after you regain custody of Brendan. But the only thing you're raising nowadays is your blood pressure.
Can't touch this.
Well, congratulations, Helen. Because you could not keep this comment to yourself, now you're going to have to explain to your grandbaby Lily when she grows up why you and her are tattooed on my back forever.
Yeah, he loved his fat ass.
Also, there's this one video of him where he is basically asking people if we can bring back child abuse.
Video where the woman says her 2 kids beat her up every day and she don't know what to do.
Beat me up. They beat me up. My 7 and my 5-year-old beat me. Today I was kicked in the chest, slapped in the face, and punched in the jaw for trying to get pants on a kid to go to school. The issue is there was no discipline we're allowed to give back. I've tried timeouts. I've tried taking things away. I've tried removing all the screens from the house. I've tried taking away privileges.
Can we bring back child abuse? Y'all remember when that was a thing? I'm definitely not a parent, but I can tell you this right now. Bring them here for one day. I'm not going to be taking away the Xbox. I'm going to be taking away teeth.
Whoever this mother was, she was probably making the video as a joke. At least that's what we're hoping. But, of course, Internet Sweetheart saw it as an opportunity to stir the pot. He decided to make a video on it and share his opinions about how kids need to be beaten up. He also said that he would take their teeth out. Yes, he really said that. We get it, dark humor exists, but there's a fine line between an edgy joke and something that's just outright disturbing. Talking about ripping children's teeth out isn't comedy, it's a violent thought, plain and simple. What's even more concerning is how this pattern keeps repeating. His words and actions don't just show a lack of boundaries, they reveal something much darker, a specific cruelty toward kids. At this point, it's hard not to see a pattern. It almost feels like he actively wants to make these kinds of videos, not because he's reacting in the moment, but because he knows they have shock value. And let's be real, controversy equals engagement, and engagement equals attention. And attention, that seems to be the only thing he truly craves. In fact, one of his most popular videos is the one where he got someone's parents' face tattooed on his body. In late 2023, someone called Max Simmons left a pretty mean comment on his TikTok. He wrote, "Are you in recovery? LOL. Let's hope he gets back on the stuff and ends it all." As we mentioned earlier in the video, Internet Sweetheart was an opioid addict and has been in recovery for a few years. He also has several charges against him related to drugs and even went to jail under something called the Marchman Act. We'll get into the details of this later, but for now, all you need to know is that he's been recovering, which he openly talked about on his TikTok. After Max left this really mean and disgusting comment, it was obvious that Internet Sweetheart wasn't about to let this go. He made a response video and got Max's dead dad's last picture tattooed on his leg with a Grim Reaper standing beside him. Now, if you don't already know, this video basically went viral pretty much everywhere, and people were actually supporting Internet Sweetheart on this.
Yo, this guy just got this troll's dead dad tattooed on his leg for this comment. Watch.
This is one of the nastiest, cruelest comments that I've gotten.
It's
It's a
shit.
good thing that I am in recovery and that I've matured and I'm not even going to engage with this. Max, I was so devastated to hear the news about your father.
Whoa. This is...
That get to my head.
I've seen
I
some
don't
stuff.
care.
This has got to be one of the pettiest things I have ever seen. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10 on the pettiness scale, this is chef's kiss. It's off the charts. This guy's next tattoo should straight up be, when someone goes low, go lower. I mean, well, after a comment like this, I feel what he did, fair game. This for all the keyboard warriors out there. Be careful what you say and who you say it to, because you truly do reap what you sow.
To be fair, it is hard to feel bad for this Max guy, especially because the comment he left was actually beyond just rude. He was being mean and hateful for no reason, and to hope that someone would kill themselves is just horrible. But after this one video blew up, a lot of people started talking about Internet Sweetheart, including some of the big names like No Jumper and Ray William Johnson.
And his whole TikTok account seems to be just him responding to people's rude comments. He dives into their background.
There were other people also who thought that Ethan was completely savage. They believed that if haters go low, you should go lower.
This is the most dedicated internet troll in the history of the internet. People have become too comfortable hating on the internet when they never say stuff like that in person. And this TikToker, Internet Sweetheart, is an easy target for hate because his entire body is tattooed. So his entire TikTok is dedicated to responding to hate comments. And if you go low, he'll go lower.
If we put it simply, Ethan became famous for trolling the trolls in the most ruthless way. Moreover, a lot of people thought that his content was amazing because he was giving it back to the internet haters.
In case you have not heard of this person before, this is my favorite account on this app that there has ever been. I love you. I love you. They take trolling to the next level. If you choose to with this person, there's something seriously wrong in you because
I want to introduce you to my friend Ethan.
So you got my account deleted. Now you're going to sue me. Is that going to bring back your dad, though?
We also came across this podcast on YouTube called Na Dude and found out that people were really in awe of this guy at the time. You can call this the absolute peak of his internet fame.
So here's what happens. People will comment on his things, talking to him. You look like a thug, you'll never get hired, shit like that, right? And then he will dive into their social media account, and boy, if you have any ghosts there, dude, he will make a reply video to your for a good example. Let me give you a good example.
Yeah, I was gonna say, send me
this guy, I'm gonna do the guy with the dad because yes!
He was a hero who wouldn't let anyone walk over him. As you can see very clearly from how these three grown men are reacting to it, people were enjoying this way of clapping back, and they didn't give a damn if it was someone's dead daddy got tattooed on his face. But this Max video actually got him into one of his first ever lawsuits. There was a duration when Max and Internet Sweetheart went back and forth on TikTok, with Max wanting him to delete the video and apologize for disrespecting his dad. However, Internet Sweetheart wasn't having any of that. He knew what he was doing, and now with the crown of the internet's most ruthless clapback creator on his head, he just felt invincible. He even got himself featured in a bunch of articles, including Variety and Vice. However, with all eyes on him, people were now getting skeptical of his content. His audience couldn't help but wonder, how come every other person in his comments section has some sort of criminal record? And how can these people be stupid enough to use their own full names? Something was just not adding up. On top of this, people were amazed by how quickly he came up with responses to these mean comments. And that too accompanied by accurate facts and evidence. But Internet Sweetheart did answer this question in his interview with Vice. He said, "I use one of those websites that does background checks on people. And I know how to do face matching as well on sites like TinEye, where you can do reverse image searches. When I first started doing TikTok, I would do a lot of the research myself, but I don't even really do too much of that anymore. I have a lot of good online sleuths and friends on Discord that know how to do this kind of stuff. So apparently, he has a whole team of people on Discord who help him do the background checks. But that still doesn't explain how every single person in his comment section just happens to be a criminal of some sort. This skepticism over the authenticity of his content, combined with him going after people's children, made him a little less popular among people. And if you think getting children's faces tattooed on his body was bad, you have no idea how low this guy was willing to go. This next part of the video will make you question everything about the internet and what you put on it. The thing is, Internet Sweetheart did not only get random people's babies tattooed on his body, but he would also personally visit places related to his trolls. For example, old age homes and people's graves. It's just insane to a whole new level.
Alright, y'all, I just pulled up. I'm about to go do a welfare check on Otis. See what's really going on. This place right there. So I just got into a fight at the nursing home. I walk in, right? I go to the front counter. This girl, she's sitting there. She has the radio on. I'm totally like taken aback because she has the radio on. She's listening to Sexy Red. So I walk over and I hit pause on the music, right? And she turns around like, and I'm like, yeah, babe, I'm about to get 200,000 followers on TikTok. I can do that. And I'm mad at this point. Like, you're in here blasting Sexy Red. I know for a fact that Otis only listens to Beethoven. Where's the Beethoven at? Where's the Mozart? I said, it doesn't even smell like mothballs in here. Is he even here at this point? I don't even know if he's at this facility. Take me to his room. She goes, I'm not taking you to his room. I don't know that you're related to him. I don't know who you are. So I'm like, babe, that is my grandfather, and I could prove it. And I take my shirt off and I show her.
She's back.
However, when we were looking at this guy's TikTok, one incident in particular caught our attention. It's when he visited a kid's daycare in an attempt to threaten the mom who left a mean comment on his post. This kind of behavior just shows how low he was willing to go, only for some clout and attention.
Into the abyss, but nobody's listening. I found your Facebook, by the way. It sounds like those kids are really taking a toll on you. I saw this status saying that you needed a break. Say no more. I'm in the car line. I'm just waiting for Brandon to come out. Here he comes. Brandon, I'm picking you up today. Mommy's busy.
The fact that he would drive all the way to the daycare to threaten a mother is just beyond disturbing and also dangerous. Not only is he going after people's kids, which, by the way, is just wrong in all ways and situations, but he's also stalking the kid. He's telling the kid that he will be picking him up today, and if he can do that, who can guarantee that he won't actually kidnap the kid out of spite? In our opinion, this kind of behavior shouldn't just be brushed off or ignored. No matter how nasty or disgusting a comment might be, there are limits to how someone should respond. And this crosses every single one of them. Dragging an innocent child into an internet feud isn't just over the top, it's completely inexcusable. There's nothing edgy or entertaining about it, and it's definitely not something to turn into content for views and engagement. Moreover, this wasn't the only time he had visited places trying to threaten his trolls. He would also visit people's relatives' graves, just to disrespect the people who were not only dead, but also had nothing to do with the comment that you're so mad about in the first place. There is one particularly nasty video of him, in which he went to someone's Nana's grave and then licked it for some reason.
Quick question for you. When was the last time you visited Nana? I miss you so much, Nana. We gotta get you out of here. Good thing I brought my shovel.
At this point, it was no longer just about being savage or clapping back. He had escalated to something far more disturbing. His so-called clapbacks had become more erratic, more unhinged, and downright dangerous. As his behavior spiraled further out of control, people finally started pushing back. A wave of backlash hit him hard. Outraged viewers flooded his comments, calling him out for his actions. Many even threatened him with lawsuits and legal action. But did that stop him? Not in the slightest. If anything, it seemed like the attention only fed his ego. With every warning and every lawsuit threat, he brushed it off like it was nothing. The fame had completely gotten to his head, and at this point, there was no telling just how far he'd go.
I just wanted to apologize to Denise Frazier. As you can see from this comment, she's pretty upset. I put out some information about her that was incorrect. I said that her favorite breed was a chocolate lab. In reality, she prefers hooking up with a Great Dane. I've heard of puppy love before, but I've never heard of anything like this. This really takes the bone. I think Denise needs to take a moment to pause and reflect. All I said was that she had a very close relationship with Snoopy, and now I'm being accused of defamation. Taking this very seriously, very, very seriously. I took it so seriously that I printed it out.
Didn't I do it for you? Why don't I do it for you? Why won't you do it for me?
He actually got a tattoo of this one user called Rhino Dude because he called internet sweetheart feminine.
I like to win. I like a good competition. So let's vote. Who is more feminine, me or this guy?
Rhino Dude then made a video telling the internet sweetheart that his lawyer would take legal action against him if he didn't take the video down.
You have 24 hours to remove that tattoo, or I will be seeking legal action. Quit your online trolling of me.
Besides Rhino Dude, there were other people as well who called him out and basically claimed that they were not the ones making these comments. For instance, this elementary school teacher, who got herself tattooed because she said something about a transgender school shooter, she later claimed that she wasn't even the one who made the comment in the first place.
Let me explain something to you, Heath Bar. I did not harass your wife. I did not go after her for no reason. I was interested in her because of her very negative comments she made about Target and about transgender folks.
Target, you know, selling the satanic stuff and promoting LGBTQ propaganda to children. It feels a little insensitive considering that a transgender just shot up a school and killed 6 innocent people. I'm in shock over this. This dude went to his tattoo parlor with my picture because he didn't like my TikTok content.
I know that y'all are teaming up with Primink the Pipsqueak, okay? You guys turned that comment section on that video into a pathetic internet sweetheart support group. Don't come onto my page and try to insert yourself into a situation between me and another grown man, okay? Christopher can speak for himself. You know what's about to happen right now? You get to transition with him.
On my account because of this post by internet sweetheart. I want to make it very clear, and I know many of you just want to believe what you want to believe, but I actually did not make that comment.
There is another creator by the name of Brittany who made a video about the internet sweetheart, saying how almost all of his videos follow the same pattern. Someone leaves a mean comment under his post, and like clockwork, he miraculously uncovers their criminal past and exposes it to the internet. But here's the thing, how is it that every single one of his haters just so happens to have a criminal record conveniently waiting to be dug up? The whole thing feels less like hard-hitting detective work and more like a carefully crafted narrative. At best, it's a massive coincidence. At worst, it's straight up fabricated.
Well, a long time ago, I started thinking about the fact that it just feels manufactured. Now, I am not naive enough to say that, oh, there aren't that many people with records. I am not convinced that every single person who leaves a comment on his videos has a record. And I mean one that is like crazy. I know that so many people have records and that so many people have done a lot of really crazy shit. But you mean to tell me that they all just magically land in his comment sections? And the thing that really made me look into it was when I would click on the comments to go back, they were always either unavailable or they led to an account that was completely blank and you could tell it was like a burner or a throwaway account. And due to me following so many of his accounts because he used to get banned all the time, I know that he has a ton of accounts. And again, at the risk of having my face tattooed on him, I'm just going to say that it's funny. It is. I think the clapbacks are absolutely hilarious, but I think it's all made up. I really feel like he finds articles and he creates accounts and he leaves the comments himself and then logs back into his main and he replies with a video and it gets traction and it takes off because people find it hilarious, because it is. But I don't think it's real. I have to admit though, if he wanted attention, he figured out the way to get it.
Whether his commenters were real or not, this was enough to compel people to look into him, and what they found was not only shocking but also quite concerning. First off, most of the trolls he was responding to didn't look real. Second, he was falsely accusing people of leaving comments and defaming them. When all of this started surfacing, more and more people started pressing legal charges, or at least claiming to, eventually resulting in the internet sweetheart being sued for more than $100,000. One thing to keep in mind here is that during this time, his main TikTok account called The Modern Day Angel was banned and was pending an appeal. In addition to this, he was being sued by all these people for false allegations and defamation. But despite the mounting pressure, he never backed down. If anything, he doubled down. Every time he was called out, he had a response locked and loaded, complete with so-called receipts that seemed almost too perfect to be real. His evidence was always conveniently timed, always airtight, always as if it had been crafted to fit the narrative he wanted people to believe. And then, in the midst of all this legal chaos, he took things in another direction. He started posting videos pleading with his followers to donate money to support him. After his main account was banned, he made another account by the name of Internet Sweetheart and also switched to Instagram. He said he was tired of his TikTok accounts getting banned and he wanted to post peacefully on Instagram.
Internet Sweetheart here, reporting live. I'm still kind of new to Instagram, but I'm enjoying the meta madness so far. But I noticed that compared to TikTok, which is the platform that I've been using since I started making content like a couple years ago, I have a lot of viewers that are not following me for some reason. I just looked at my reel analytics and I saw that a lot of people consistently watch my reels but don't follow me, which is fine. I mean, actually, it's kind of a compliment because people are not just seeing me pop up on their feed, they're actually like purposely going to my page manually to watch me, which is a good thing, I guess. I also figured like maybe a lot of people are just hate watching me because it's a train wreck that they can't look away from, since I'm like the Jerry Springer of social media influencers. Figured people don't want to contribute to my follower count or something, but then I saw multiple comments that were saying they love my content, but they don't want to follow me because then my content won't show up on their feed. And I didn't know that was a thing on Instagram, but I highly recommend that if you enjoy my content and you're a proud member of the Sweetheart Squad, click the button and follow me. And then just click the bell icon on the top right corner of my page and turn on post notifications for me, and then you'll get an alert every time I post something. So do it, please. And also my merch is on Redbubble now. Click the link in my bio to buy it. You know you want a t-shirt with my mugshot on it. And if you buy it, when it arrives, take a picture of you wearing it and I'll follow you back on Instagram. And I've decided that I am officially done with TikTok after 28 accounts banned and extreme censorship. But since I'm now officially an Instagrammer, I won't be getting paid from the TikTok Creator Fund and doing live streams, which means I'm going to have to just monetize in the way of receiving donations from you guys. So if you want to donate to the Internet Sweetheart movement so that I can create more content and digital chaos, if you want to help fund my sinister shenanigans and also help me fight my legal battle against this male Karen YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers who tried to cancel me to revive his washed up YouTube career, and then he actually just ended up getting dragged all the way from here to Wyandotte, Michigan. So yeah, I scared him pretty badly. I guess his 1 million subscribers were not loyal enough to protect their master from the wrath of the Internet Sweetheart, and now he wants to sue me. But anyway, for donations, I have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Before the haters start commenting, get a job, loser, pathetic, begging for money, this is ridiculous. Shh. Eat this ass, just shut up and munch. That's all you're good for. You know the drill by now. I'll put this ass on you once you find out how many licks it takes to get to the center of the Internet Sweetheart. If I want a panhandle on Instagram, that's my business. I'm too cute to work. This is common sense. It costs to be the boss and it's expensive to look this cheap. So also, if you want to join a giant chat room with me and the other members of the Sweetheart Squad, click on the Discord link that's in my bio, along with the Internet Sweetheart merch link. And also, the Internet Sweetheart Show podcast is about to launch, and that's just one more reason to donate to the cause. So depending on how well things go with the Internet Sweetheart Donation Fund, I might be able to do a podcast episode like every day, or maybe at least like 2 or 3 times a week. I don't know. And also I might start doing Instagram live streams as well if you guys would be interested in that. I guess people can like buy badges on Instagram when you go live, and you get money from that, so that might be another good way to monetize on the gram, I guess. But yeah, I used to do live streams on TikTok that I called the Sweetheart Slumber Party, and those were really fun. Anyway, I love all you guys, and I appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting on this app. You guys are all amazing, and I think Sweetheart season is just beginning, to be honest.
According to Internet Sweetheart, he was not getting paid enough for his videos because TikTok wouldn't stop banning his accounts. Well, maybe if he would stop going after people's kids and graves, they would too. But Internet Sweetheart believed that TikTok had some personal propaganda against him, and they didn't want him on the platform, which is why he was struggling financially to fight all these legal cases and lawsuits against him. He also maintained that he didn't lie about anything, and that all the people he trolled were actually real. So in order to fight all these lawsuits, he started asking his followers to donate money to him. During this period, he made a bunch of videos asking people to Cash App him money.
Alright, so as you all know, I used to be a TikTok celebrity. I basically took over the entire app. I ran TikTok. And then they decided that I was too controversial and problematic, so they kicked me out. And I was making really good money on TikTok from Cash App donations and doing interviews with Vice and Inked magazine. And now I'm a nobody, and I have nothing. And you know how they say that God has a way of putting people in your path at the right times? I met a guy named Gary. I don't know what it is about him, but like, I am sprung. We have a very special connection. It's very mental, very emotional. It's not physical. It's hard to describe, you know? And then he tells me, today, he texts me and says, look outside. And you're not gonna believe this, y'all. That's my man. And I'm gonna stick beside him. And yes, as you can tell in the video, I am 9 months pregnant and the father is Gary, so deal with it. And his granddaughter needs to stop blowing up my phone.
So according to him, he is too cute to work, which is why he needed people to send him donations through his Cash App. Also, he needed money to fight the lawsuits. But all of this later turned out to be a big, fat scam when Primink uploaded his video and exposed him for being a liar. Primink, who is a known Lolcow documentary creator on YouTube, made a video on Internet Sweetheart.
Put this man on a list, lock him up. And the reason I lost faith in humanity is because if you go through the comments, every single person is supporting these videos. And I thought maybe it was just all kids in the comments that don't know better, you know? But then I found videos of full-grown adults saying this stuff is the most entertaining stuff they've ever seen in their entire life.
He figured out that almost all of the trolls leaving hate comments on Internet Sweetheart's posts followed the same username pattern. First name, last name, followed by some random numbers. But this was still not enough to prove that he was faking his trolls. So Primink dug a little more and followed all the troll accounts. And he discovered that almost all the troll accounts had 1 or 2 followers and no posts at all. He then used some tech software to determine the dates all those accounts were made. Turned out that most of the troll accounts that Internet Sweetheart was replying to were created the same day he responded to their comments. This was not only odd, but extremely suspicious. So Primink basically called him out for fabricating everything. A lot of pictures that he used for his tattoos were either random stock photos from Google or led to other people's Instagram accounts. So if what Primink said was true, he was fabricating almost everything about his internet persona. He was faking trolls and replying to himself for views. But the most alarming part about all of this was that he was possibly using random people's children's photos who had absolutely no idea about it. This revelation also led to a bunch of other crimes that Internet Sweetheart committed while faking his content. For starters, he was making fake accounts and stealing other people's identities. Secondly, he was asking people to donate money to him under false pretenses that he would use to fight the lawsuits against him, which were likely to be fake too, given that there were never any trolls to begin with. But something was still not adding up about his story. There were people who were making videos about Internet Sweetheart as well. For instance, Rhino Dude, who made a video warning Internet Sweetheart that if he didn't take his video down, there would be legal consequences. If Internet Sweetheart was faking his trolls, then was he also using paid actors to make these videos against him? This all seemed a little too far-fetched, even for someone like him. However, if he was actually using paid actors to gain popularity and fake the entire drama on his account, then we would like to say that he was a true mastermind. Anyways, coming back to the topic, Primink's video was a massive blow to Internet Sweetheart's ego. There were people who commented under Primink's video and recalled how they had been targeted by Internet Sweetheart as well. Remember the elementary school teacher who made a video about her name being used by the Internet Sweetheart for a comment she never made? She commented on Primink's video saying, "He is a horrible person, made a fake account with my picture and left horrible comments that I never made. As a result, his minions came hard after me. I dealt with harassment for months. Thank you for exposing this." Brittany, the woman who made a video about Internet Sweetheart and his predictable content cycle, also commented saying, "I used to be mutuals with him and eventually I caught on. I made a video saying I thought it was fake. I'm now tattooed on his side." Before this video, people were only speculating over the authenticity of his content, but now they were sure. Also, Primink revealed something about Internet Sweetheart that people didn't already know. He's been in jail multiple times for drug-related charges and contempt of court under something called the Marchman Act. We did a little bit of research on our own and found out that the Marchman Act, officially the Hal S. Marchman Alcohol and Other Drug Services Act of 1993, is a Florida law that provides a means of involuntary and voluntary assessment and stabilization and treatment of a person allegedly abusing alcohol or drugs. According to the Marchman Act, your family members, your guardians, or anyone who cares about you can put you in treatment if you're a danger to yourself. However, the records of the Marchman Act are not available to the public since it's considered a civil matter, not a criminal record. So, as expected, Internet Sweetheart was pissed about this. In response, he offered a 15-minute-long response on his Instagram talking about Primink's and Brittany's comment and a bunch of other things.
We got a lot of work to do tonight, y'all. A lot of work. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. Mama needs her juice, so I got Celsius ready. Flavored air stick is on go. I'm prepared. A lot of people are on the menu tonight. You're getting ate up. I'm so glad I moved over here from TikTok because now I can run wild and free like I wanted to do before. A lot of people were getting spared thanks to the community guidelines. I couldn't say what I wanted to say. I was being censored, and that's out the window now. Welcome to Instagram. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna line it up one by one, and that's what I wish I could do to y'all in real life, but I can't. So next best thing is through the screen verbally. Somebody thought it was gonna be a good idea to expose me and make a whole documentary about me. Primink, I'm talking about you. Your documentary sucks. I'm about to show you what a real documentary looks like. Filming in my bathroom on my phone with my horrible editing skills, my documentary is gonna kick your documentary's ass. Everybody who's watching this, go make some popcorn, take a seat, get comfortable, get your snacks. Welcome to Sundance Film Festival. Most things people say about me on the internet, I really don't care about. I respond to hate comments because I enjoy turning negativity into something funny and entertaining. That's what I've done my whole life, even before I was a content creator. And this documentary pisses me the off, I'll be honest, because I had to console my mom the other day because she's upset. She feels guilty about enacting a Marchman Act against me in the beginning of 2024 when I had relapsed on my addiction to opiates. Marchman Act is something in Florida that allows family members to legally force someone to go to a drug treatment program if there's evidence that the person's addiction is life-threatening. And it's all supposed to be private because it's considered a civil matter, not a criminal matter, and the Marchman Act is intended to help people and save people's lives. The files are sealed and are supposed to remain private because they're not supposed to be able to be used to damage the addict's reputation or future job prospects or whatever. But somehow, Primink, Kyle Keene, he got a hold of my medical records and my Marchman Act information and my expunged criminal record, and he has exploited my addiction and mental illness in his documentary. Now my mom is upset and she feels guilty about trying to save my life.
Now, we're not going to play the entire video here, it's way too long. But to summarize, he's basically pissed at Primink, revealing his real name and talking shit about him the entire time. Also, Primink and Internet Sweetheart have been in correspondence before and after the Primink's video was posted, and they both made more videos reading each other's emails.
Oh, now that Miss Keene is suing me for slander, I want to give you guys the details of the behind-the-scenes correspondence conversations that I had with this Karen. Yeah, he sent me this email. This is the very first correspondence that I had with him. This is where the nightmare began. Right off the bat, I knew that this was not good.
Hi, Ethan. I hope this message finds you well. My name is Primink, and I run a YouTube channel focused on covering internet stories and scandals. We are currently finalizing a video about your TikTok page. I want to extend the opportunity for you to provide a comment before it goes live on the 19th. We discovered 30 TikToks in which you request donations through your Cash App. I think there's more than 30. And while asking for donations is not inherently problematic, some of these videos feature fabricated stories about legal battles involving fake individuals. Fake legal battles, huh? But aren't you suing me for slam now? That's so cute. Here's what I sent him. It's important to get my side of the story.
And I also think you should advertise my Cash App username in your documentary. Best regards, Internet Sweetheart. Then Karen Keene jumps out.
Hey, Ethan, I know it's your thing to make jokes out of everything and dismiss stuff, but you've done some very serious things here. I would probably rethink your response.
I am a devout member of my church. I have a very close relationship with my pastor. Yes, she's a woman. It's 2025. So I actually had my pastor write him a letter. He never replied, never acknowledged it. Like, really, now it's okay to disrespect somebody's religious beliefs? Really?
Salutations. I'm reaching out to you in the hopes that we may reach common ground and understanding. I am a pastor. Throughout the past 24 hours, I have spent time with a man whose online moniker is Internet Sweetheart. He came to me after a church service and confided in me that his entire brand in life as he knows it will be stripped away from him violently. He was weeping, and oh did he weep. He was a blubbering mess. He confessed to me the sordid details of his evil digital deeds and TikTok war crimes. He is filled with regret. I would like to inform you that I performed a baptism on him this afternoon. I'm pleased to announce that his sins have been washed away, and he has learned lessons. So many lessons. I do believe he's seen the error of his ways, and therefore, I do not believe the exposé YouTube project scheduled for January 19th will be necessary anymore. Discard the footage you've curated regarding this young man, and let's put all this behind us. I will continue my private lessons with him, and I promise you, I will get to the bottom of all this. Why did he do it? What was he thinking? We will find out. All in due time, the questions will be answered, but for now, we must allow him the space he needs to grow and reflect on his online behavior. Those hurtful videos you plan to unveil will not bring you nor him closer to the Lord. Here's a Bible verse that aligns with the idea of minding your own business. Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. You should mind your own business and work with your hands, just as we told you. 1 Thessalonians 4:11. For not being a tattletale, this verse is fitting. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. Proverbs 11:13. Thank you for understanding.
We won't get into lots of details here, but it all ended up with Primink suing Internet Sweetheart for slander. Now we're going to deviate a little from the Primink topic, and we'd like to talk about some random things we found while researching about him. For starters, this one absurd and totally random video that he recorded when he was in jail.
Hello, this is a call from
Ethan Scarcelli.
an inmate at the Hillsborough County Falkenberg Road Detention Facility.
This is Internet Sweetheart. If you're wondering why TikTok has been so boring lately, it's because I'm in jail. But don't worry, I'm learning a lot here. My first day, a man named Cornbread taught me how to make a shank. That night, I went to my bunk and I found a Hershey's Kiss on my pillow. I thought that it was like a welcome to the pod sort of present. So I ate it, and later, let's just say my backside still hurts. I can barely walk, and I absolutely love it here. I'm surrounded by hot guys with tattoos, and I look absolutely great in an orange outfit. So cash at me for commissary, please.
Now, you might be thinking, how did he even post this video if he was in jail? Well, this is all thanks to this other person who seems to be popping up a lot in this story. She's Internet Sweetheart's friend. She's called Erin with Instagram username Erin Sweetheart. When Ethan was in jail for treatment and contempt of court, she started a whole Free My Bestie movement on Instagram. She has also been apparently handling all of Internet Sweetheart's social media accounts. She basically thinks that Ethan did nothing wrong and that Marchman people have been out to get him because of his internet presence.
So my opinion on this is the facility that he went to had a personal vendetta against him. Since day one, the therapist isn't a therapist, he's a counselor, told Ethan that he knew who he was and he personally asked to be his therapist. He said that he's watched him on TikTok and he has based all of his therapy around TikTok.
She is also wearing a Free My Bestie t-shirt in this video with Ethan's face pasted all over it. That being said, they both seem to have a very good friendship, and it's very evident from the way they talk about each other.
You know how I've handled Ethan since day one? I have supported him, I have cared about him, and I've encouraged him. And guess who he doesn't lie to? Me.
We also came across this video of Internet Sweetheart explaining how he and Aaron met.
So this video is about my best friend Aaron, how me and Aaron met. Aaron was in a terrible car accident. She was hit by a drunk driver. She suffered a traumatic brain injury. She had a long recovery ahead of her. She had to relearn how to walk and talk and do everything. And while she was going through that recovery, she came across my account on TikTok, and she thought that my content was really funny. It brought her out of a dark place that she was in, and she said, "This guy is my troll mate." So she joined my Discord server, and that's how we became friends, but we didn't really become as close as we are now until So at the height of my internet fame, TikTok shut down my account. I lost my really good job that I was at, and I got into a relationship that turned out to be very toxic and abusive. My ex ended up kidnapping me and assaulting me, and then directly after that, I got thrown in jail for no reason. When I got arrested, I handed my phone and keys and wallet and everything to the new guy that I was with after I left my ex, and he proceeded to go and sell my phone and blew all the money gambling, and also lost my car and my wallet and my everything, and he changed my passwords on everything and stole my tax return. So I had relapsed, and so I was detoxing in jail. I was completely miserable. I felt like I was not going to make it, and nobody even knew where I was. I didn't write any numbers down because I had relapsed and nobody was really speaking to me. I was so busy with what was going on with my ex, and he would not let me have a phone. He would not let me talk to anybody. He was completely controlling and abusive, and he ended up attacking me with a knife and getting arrested, and then I got thrown in jail, the same jail that he was at. So nobody even knew where I was at. Like, I hadn't even talked to anybody, and somehow Erin found out that I was in jail, and she convinced the correctional officer to let her do a video call with me, and I had a huge abscess on my hand. I really did not look well, and I was not doing well, and Erin called my family and told them what was going on. She put money on my commissary for me, and she answered the phone every single time I called her the entire time that I was locked up. She helped me get all of my accounts back because my passwords had been changed on everything, like I was saying. I didn't have a car anymore, that was gone. When I got arrested a second time this year, wrongfully, I actually didn't do anything, and I got thrown in jail. Erin found me a lawyer. She gave me money for commissary. She always answered the phone. She was there no matter what, every step of the way. And she was advocating for me on the outside and running my social media accounts for me and doing everything, basically. Erin has saved my life so many times, and she always advocates for me, and she's always on my side. She always listens to me and makes me feel heard, and I know that she will defend me no matter what. And I never had a friend like that before. Everybody needs to get them an Erin. And anyway, the point of this video was that she sent me Christmas gifts, which she really didn't have to do. So much for my fitness journey. Thanks a lot, Erin. Shirts. Erin is the one who convinced me to go to treatment and get clean after I had relapsed and gotten arrested and all that craziness happened. She was the person that told me to go to treatment, and I listened to what she said, and I did it, and now I'm where I'm at today. So this told her that she has certainly saved my life multiple times, and she basically just says that she's returning the favor for when she was recovering from her car accident and she found my content. Brought her out of a dark place, and she's brought me out of a really dark place as well. So
all of this isn't really part of this story, but we thought it would be nice to mention since it doesn't look like this guy is capable of real, genuine friendship. He just comes across as a very savage and evil guy on TikTok. Another kind of hilarious thing that we found about him from Primink's video was the Burger King incident. Now, up until now, he hadn't displayed any characteristic Lolcow traits. But this incident will really make you crack up. What happened was that he went to Burger King and ordered a Hershey's pie, and they, very unfortunately, gave him an empty Hershey's pie box, which made him pretty mad, so he started arguing with their staff while recording the entire altercation. However, this isn't even the funniest part of the video. The funniest part is that he is shirtless in the video with a crown over his head for some reason. Just see for yourself.
Him at Burger King.
So I'm like, you know, you gave me a Hershey pie that was empty the other day. She goes, no, we didn't.
We didn't, because
no, you did.
No,
you did.
I did myself.
No.
Not only this, but he also told his fans to go to Burger King and order the Internet Sweetheart Special, which is basically an empty Hershey's pie box. And guess what? Internet is a really crazy place because people actually went and asked for the Internet Sweetheart Special.
Hi, my name is Internet Sweetheart, and I have the most amazing, insane fan base on the internet because I talked about my horrible experience at Burger King where they gave me a Hershey pie with nothing in the box, empty pie, and then this happened.
Internet Sweetheart meal? May I have an Internet Sweetheart meal? I'm gonna ask you to get out of the line, sir. I'm sorry. Thanks, sir.
I wanted to find out if you guys have the Internet Sweetheart special. You don't have that? Can I get a Hershey's pie, please? Are you denying me service?
Honestly, the entire thing was just hilarious. If anything, it proves how insane this guy can truly be. Anyway, this was a little piece of information we wanted to share with you before we concluded this video. We don't think his whole drama with Primink has fully ended yet. We know that Primink has been talking to the detectives, and there's some sort of case going on. But we don't know a lot, and we don't want to get our facts wrong either. So we're going to leave it at that. In the end, the real question is, do we think he is faked at all or not? Maybe yes, maybe no. It is just bad either way. Getting children's faces tattooed on his body is not right, even if his trolls are real. But if they're not, then this obviously makes things much worse, since no one instigated him to do that. He's just doing it on his own. As of now, we don't really believe that all of the hate comments he replied to were fake. Maybe some of them were legit and others fabricated. Maybe most of them were fabricated and a few of them are real. There's also a good chance that none of it was real. But we also think it's not possible for someone to fake every single hate comment, even for someone like Ethan. But there is definitely something sketchy with his content, and his behavior seems to be getting worse with each passing day. With this, we're gonna end the video. That's all we have on the Internet Sweetheart for today. If you liked the video, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button to show your support. Comment down below and let us know, what are your thoughts on Internet Sweetheart? Do you think he faked his trolls, or were they real? And if they were real, do you think he went a little too far to take revenge?